Airbnb is a step closer to getting the green light in New South Wales after the state government supported recommendations from a parliamentary inquiry. Currently, laws permitting or banning home sharing vary from council to council. The government says it will further consult over regulation of the sector, as well as consider amendments to strata laws to give owners' corporations more power to respond to bad behaviour caused by short-term tenants.
We need to balance the needs of those who wish to use short-term accommodation against the rights of existing residents in strata schemes. So we understand the committee has done a lot of work in this space, but we believe that there needs to be more community consultation, more consultation with industry, so that we can get the balance right.
And Sam McDonagh is Airbnb's manager for Australia and New Zealand, and he joins me now. Sam McDonagh, welcome. You must be happy with this result. What does it mean for you?
Look, we certainly welcome the news. Obviously, this is a complex issue, and I think the New South Wales Government has done a really good job in terms of consulting with all of the stakeholders who are through this process. Obviously, they've indicated a little bit more work to do to ensure that we end up with fair, progressive and, importantly, balanced regulations to provide a degree of certainty for the tens of thousands of Airbnb hosts that are already in New South Wales, and, of course, the hundreds of thousands of travellers that take advantage of what Airbnb has to offer.
Is it a bit of a mess for you across Australia at the moment with different regulations in hundreds of different jurisdictions?
Well, certainly planning is a state issue that is regulated by local councils, and of course there are many hundreds of those across our great nation. But we're fortunate that we've seen some leadership come from South Australia and more recently from Tasmania in terms of how they deal with this, and I think that what the New South Wales Government has done here, on the back of arguably the most rigorous investigation into short-term rentals anywhere in the world, and they've come out with this, and I think the support that they have for the inquiry is positive, and we'll continue to work with government to support their views.
So are there some council areas in Australia at the moment where we're just banned altogether?
Well, there certainly are, but one of the things that the guidance we're seeing from the New South Wales Government here and other states have already acted is that they're providing certainty, because at the moment there is uncertainty. Many of the regulations that do exist in relation to home sharing were in fact in place before the internet even existed.
So how many councils in Australia at the moment is Airbnb banned from?
Well, the reality is that we don't even know the answer to that question, because the regulations are outdated, and one of the things that we're seeing in New South Wales is that they're moving towards an innovative approach to keep everyone's, all the stakeholders' views in mind and come up with, I think, that's something that's going to be very positive.
So are you confident that eventually you'll be okay, Airbnb will be okay to operate in anywhere in Australia?
Yeah, look, we're certainly confident. Common sense is going to prevail in this instance, and we're confident that the government and the stakeholders will take into account all of the views and opinions of the people that are affected and come up with a good solution for New South Wales.
Do you acknowledge that your presence is likely to have a big impact on the ability of motels to turn a profit?
One of the things that we do know is that 76% of all Airbnbs are outside traditional tourist districts, and what we're seeing, and it's in support of both Destination New South Wales and Tourism Australia's goals of distributing tourism, and we know that many of the Airbnbs, in fact 76%, are outside traditional tourist districts.
But what do you mean by that, outside traditional districts? Like, I mean, if in a small town, it would be like people could go to the Airbnb, it'd only be a kilometre from the motel. What's your definition of a tourist district there?
Well, the benefit that we are seeing right across regional New South Wales is many of those operators are actually using the Airbnb platform to promote their properties and have more tourists come and visit. And in fact, in the last 12 months, there's been over $1.6 billion in economic benefit that's come to restaurants and cafes and traditional tourist operators across Australia.
But it would undoubtedly have an impact on the motel industry, wouldn't it?
One of the things that we see, and we believe that we can compete right alongside the hotels, and certainly right across Australia, the hotel industry is doing very well at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, and one issue that often comes up with Airbnb is that with a short-term rental, you can come across situations where you get a party group in there to have a big weekend, and they cause all sorts of issues for surrounding tenants and owners. What kind of guarantee can you give residents across Australia that they won't have to frequently deal with those kind of situations if Airbnb continues to grow?
There is no place for bad behaviour on Airbnb, and in the rare circumstances that it does take place, we take action and will work with both hosts and guests and neighbours to ensure that their concerns are addressed. One of the things that we certainly do understand is we need to be a good member of the community, and we'll continue to work towards that.
Okay, Sam McDonagh, thanks for coming in and having a chat to us.